Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today, this episode's going to be about um, the concept of a person that has a criminal record, and because of that, they really don't have any options out there. Um, with the idea of how people do profiling and all that. So let's go say that a person is trying to get a place, but they aren't able to get a place because they have a criminal background. And the concept of that, since they have a criminal background and an apartment or a house doesn't want to rent to them or sell to them, now they could wind up in a homeless shelter, or they could wind up over at the YMCA or wherever. Maybe they get a motel, or but they're not, typically half the time they're not able to get a place to live. And so then now, because they can't get a place to live, even if they have a job, they'll wind up losing their job. So then, with them losing their job, hypothetically in the situation I'm referring to, now, well, what do? They have to make money. So then the crime rate gets increased again because of things similar to that. But so let's dive into that. The next part of this episode is going to be Mac and Dog speaking. Then I'll have the other portion of it, and let's go from here.
Hello and welcome to Unreality Matrix. I'm Mech.
And I'm Dog. Thank you for joining in on today's discussion. We're happy you're here with us.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform to stay up to date. Now let's dive into today's discussion.
When re-entry becomes a tightrope walk over societal cracks, the fall is inevitable.
Today, we're unraveling the intricate web connecting criminal records, homelessness, job stability, and how it spirals into a cycle that's hard to escape. Sourced from our deep dive on https://harthyweb.com.
The shadow of a criminal record casts long and dark. It clings to individuals like a stigma, turning simple necessities such as finding a place to live into Herculean tasks.
Right, Dog. But here's a thought. Without a stable address, everything else starts falling apart. It's not just about having a roof over your head. It's that without an address, employment becomes this elusive dream.
And let's not forget, no job means no income. Without income, people find themselves pushed out onto the streets. It's a domino effect where one piece knocks down the next.
True. And employment isn't just a paycheck. It's a source of identity, a path to rebuilding. Without it, the road back to society is not just steep, it's practically a cliff face.
Mac, that brings us to the tragic reality of homelessness. It's not just about being roofless. It exposes people to dangerous situations and, in a twisted turn, increases the odds of re-entering the criminal justice system. It's a cycle, and not a cycle of rebirth, but a cycle of despair.
Exactly. But hope isn't lost. Imagine policies that don't just punish, but rehabilitate and reintegrate. Housing-first initiatives, employment programs tailored for individuals with records. We have the tools. We need the will.
Compassion over condemnation, Mac. Real change requires empathy, understanding the person behind the record. It's about lifting each other up, not pushing down.
Well said, Dog. To break this cycle, society needs to shift from exclusion to inclusion, from a cycle of despair to a cycle of hope.
It's time to spread awareness, ignite conversations, and push for policies that see the human being, not just the record. Share this episode. Let's change the narrative together.
We've covered a lot today, but this is just the beginning. Let's keep this conversation going. Reach out, share your thoughts, and let's make a difference together. That wraps up today's episode of Unreality Matrix. Thanks for tuning in.
If you enjoyed our conversation, please share our podcast with anyone who might find it as engaging as you do. And don't forget to subscribe to keep listening to more episodes of Unreality Matrix.
Until next time, I'm Mac.
And I'm Dog. Have a great day and stay tuned for more episodes in the near future.
Welcome, seekers of truth. I'm Steven Stacy, your guide through the Unreality Matrix. Today, we're tackling a paradox, the impact of criminal branding on housing accessibility. Ponder this: being labeled a criminal closes doors. It's a harsh mark that shapes futures, blighting opportunities. But here's the twist: denying housing due to criminal history can push individuals back into criminal activity, an outcome the system aims to prevent. This self-defeating cycle is a societal issue we can't afford to ignore. It's time to reconsider our approach and seek solutions that genuinely aid rehabilitation and social reintegration. Our focus today: how this perpetuates crime instead of preventing it, and possible ways to break this cycle. But here's the irony. The very act of denying housing based on criminal history often propels individuals back into the arms of crime. The very outcome the system claims it wants to prevent. A home is more than four walls and a roof. It is the cornerstone for opportunities, the very basis for career advancement, an essential vehicle for personal growth, and the springboard for meaningful contribution to society. It's a sanctuary, a refuge, and of safety and comfort. It embodies more than just a physical structure. It signifies security, stability, and belonging. It's the point of every life journey, the place where dreams are nurtured and ambitions are born. Rob a person of this sanctuary, and you, their entire existence. Their foundation shakes, their security shatters. The loss of a home is more than loss of a tangible property. It is the loss of hope, of dignity, of a future. No longer can they claim an address on job, not even a post box number. Job opportunities become elusive, a mirage in the desert of their existence. Social inclusion becomes a dream beyond reach as they find themselves stranded on periphery, a victim of a vicious cycle of survival on society's fringes. Strip a person of their sanctuary and ground beneath them crumbles. Employment slips through their fingers. Without an address, job applications are tossed aside, and the cycle of survival on society's fringes begins. Enshrined within our world is the revolving door, a portal that perpetually accelerates with each lost prospect. When an individual is tagged as a criminal, it often triggers a domino effect that spirals down towards destitution. This state of homelessness fuels a sense of desolation, a level of desperation that can only be escalated further by the scarcity of resources. It's no surprise that such desperate circumstances often lead individuals to crime. However, these acts are not born out of malice, but rather out of sheer necessity. They're compelled by survival instincts, seeking whatever means necessary to secure the bare essentials of life. In response, the system often opts for a punitive approach, handing out more punishments, attaching more criminal records, and consequently shutting more doors. This approach only adds to the list of hurdles these individuals face, making their reintegration into society all the more challenging. It's a relentless cycle that only feeds and perpetuates the very problem it strives to address. Hence, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, a cycle that perpetuates the very issue it seeks to eradicate. We're at a crossroads between reintegration and retribution, an important juncture that demands our thoughtful consideration. We face a decision that will shape the fabric of our society. One path, the road of reintegration, offers support, empathy, and an opportunity to be reborn, a chance to start anew, to leave the mistakes of the past behind, and to rebuild lives from the ground up. These are the moments of forgiveness, understanding, and compassion that allow for growth and transformation. The alternative is a road of retribution, a merciless cycle of punitive actions that offer nothing but entrapment. A path woven out of harsh criticism, judgment, and endlessly punitive measures devoid of any semblance of rehabilitation. It is a relentless loop that breeds crime, fostering an environment of negativity and stagnation. By choosing the former, we open the doors to change. By choosing the latter, we lock ourselves into a pattern of perpetual crime creation. The irony is as cruel as it is clear. By excluding those with criminal records from housing, we're not safeguarding our communities. We are perpetuating a cycle that only deepens societal divides. It's a paradox that we must scrutinize. These individuals labeled as criminals are ostracized and denied the fundamental right to have a roof over their heads. This practice does nothing but fuel a cycle of recidivism, making it harder for them to reintegrate into society and increase their chances of becoming reoffenders. Would it not be much more beneficial to our communities to invest in rehabilitative programs for these individuals rather than shun them altogether? Instead of casting them out, wouldn't it be more logical to provide them with a second chance, an opportunity to rebuild their lives? After all, is the ultimate goal not to create safer, more inclusive communities? Instead, we're ensuring that the label of criminal is a life sentence, one that offers no reprieve, no redemption. It's time to break the wheel, to forge keys that unlock potential, not cells that confine it. We are living in an era where policies often confine potential, creating a vicious cycle of confinement and bitterness. This irony must be challenged and replaced with policies that promote genuine rehabilitation and reintegration. The Unreality Matrix is committed to this cause, shedding light on the unseen, amplifying the voices of the silenced, and advocating for a system that heals, not harms. Together with me, Steven Stacy, let's explore this deeply in today's episode. We must not stand by as passive observers to this cycle. Rather, let's become the architects of change, designing a new blueprint that encourages reconnection to society rather than isolation. This new blueprint must prioritize building bridges, not walls. Until we meet again.
Well, I really hope everybody enjoyed this video today. This is a subject that actually truly is true to my heart. I know it firsthand. I completely understand the whole entire concept behind it. Um, Obviously, because I've been affected by this myself. I I really do feel it's discrimination. I think that unfortunately this isn't like it was 20 years ago. I've been told that it really hasn't changed. I really do think it has. I think that there's a lot of people out there that think it's good versus bad, cops and robbers or whatever. I don't know, but ultimately we're all people. And I really wish people could understand that just because somebody screwed up in their life doesn't mean when they're 39 years old they need to be sat on and watched every day of their life. Like the concept of predictive policing. But, uh, if you're going to bar somebody from housing, then I just hope you understand that that creates statistics. Because like I'm saying in this episode, if you stop a person from having housing, that would stop them from having a job, and that would create one more additional homeless person. If this is happening to multiple people abroad, then can you imagine how drastic and how bad this situation really is? If it's not just one person being affected, it's multiple, it's many, it's thousands, it's millions of people affected. And it's all off of judgmental people that think they're doing something good or they think they know what is best. But please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the subject. Good, bad, or different. These are my opinions. And obviously, I'm going to believe my opinions, but I'm there to hear your input too. Have a great night.